right, everybody, thank you so much for coming today. We're here to talk about transforming analytics and driving innovation with SAP and Google Cloud. Hopefully this is where you wanted to be today. I want to introduce myself. I'm Mike Graber. I'm Director of Hyperscaler Customer Engagement with SAP, and I have my colleague up here, Siva. Siva, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Siva. I'm part of SAP's platform adoption and advisory team. So we work with SAP and Google customers to bring up the technologies, to build the technologies and help solve their customer problem. And now we are very excited to share this with you today.
Great, thank you, Siva. All right, so as far as the agenda today, we're going to do a little, do the intros. We're going to talk a little bit about SAP BTP in general. If you're thinking about integrating with SAP line of business applications like S4 or SuccessFactors or any of those applications, you'll want to go through BTP, so we're going to have a little introduction on that. We're also going to talk about Datasphere, the new product that we're releasing that integrates with Google BigQuery, which is fantastic. And then we're going to talk about some different use cases and things that we're thinking about that customers can do with this. And then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about the architecture. I think we've got some challenges with the demos today, but we'll be available to show you the demo after the session. And then finally, we're going to go into a little bit of roadmap. So with that, let's talk a little bit about the landscape and the ecosystem that we're dealing with today. A lot of customers are investing in artificial intelligence, right? It's a big topic. Obviously, here at Google Next, it's a huge topic. The big challenge is in order to do AI, you need access to data. And you need to be able to get at the data in ways that can train models and can do all the things that our customers are wanting to do. What we're announcing, or what we're talking about today, is this new partnership that we have with Google, and specifically a new adapter that allows us to integrate with Google BigQuery, which we think is groundbreaking and game-changing. The idea of being able to take a petascale database like BigQuery and marry it up with the SAP ecosystem is an incredibly powerful thing. So let's talk a little bit about just BTP at first. So BTP is SAP's platform for doing integrations, extensions, and analytics. It is something that we've been investing in for quite a number of years. This represents a massive investment, not only from being able to integrate with other systems and extend the SAP ecosystem, but it's also underpinning all of our products. So it's something that we've been working on, a platform that can sit underneath our products and enable us to do a lot of really great things. It is the other great thing about BTP is that it also gives us the ability to sit on top of Google Cloud Platform. So the idea that you can take your BTP services and run it on top of Google Cloud is another great thing that enables us to do some great stuff. So BTP in general, if you think about our SAP line of business applications, they solve a lot of problems, right? But they don't solve every problem, nor do they give you the ability to necessarily innovate on top to do things that make it specific to your company. And that's where BTP, think of it as the last mile. It's the last mile of being able to take your application and extend it and change it and do things with it to make it fit your enterprise and fit what it is that you want to do. So you may be asking yourself, with Business Technology Platform, there's approximately 94 different services that we offer with this platform. Now, what's interesting about this is a lot of customers ask me, they say, Mike, when do I use BTP and when do I use Google Cloud? Because there's a lot of very similar services. If you think about it, we have a database, right, with HANA Cloud. You've got a database with, with BigQuery or Google SQL, right? You also have various different data lake technologies that are similar. As you go down the line, you're going to see a lot of similarities in terms of what these products do. What we're suggesting to our customers is why would you use BTP instead of just using hyperscaler technology like Google Cloud Platform? And the reason you would use BTP is because we can do things with the platform that tie directly into what we do, that then ties directly into what customers can do that are unique because we own the platform. Things like, for example, we're not limited to publicly facing APIs. We have backplanes where we can move data out and cache things from SAP applications that customers can then take advantage of. So as we look through this and as we think about where you would use BTP and where you would use Google Cloud, there's a governance model that becomes possible where you use SAP applications or you use BTP to connect to SAP applications, and then you then integrate out to the greater enterprise ecosystem. And that's where we see there's a lot of really great potential for tying in what BTP can do with Google Cloud, and thus the announcement of what we've announced with them to be able to do. So generally speaking, if you look at BTP and you look at the different capabilities of what we provide, we have the ability through a bunch of different services to be able to connect out to Google Cloud capabilities, to be able to integrate that. And in order to get to the SAP line of business applications, we provide that framework that allows you to connect out and see all of these different capabilities. So let's talk a little bit about Datasphere. Datasphere is the product that basically to get at all SAP data, you go through Datasphere to get at it. And Datasphere provides a number of different services that we're going to talk about here today. It gives you the ability to do self-service data access, data discovery, advanced orchestration to be able to move data and process data the way you want. We have processing and persistency models, we have data governance, and we have data ingestion capabilities. These capabilities give you everything you need to build what we're calling a business data fabric. And this business data fabric is how you will feed data out of SAP into other systems. And in fact, what we're doing with the Google Cloud BigQuery capability is being able to take SAP applications, move them through Datasphere, take the data out, and what we're building is an adapter that leverages the BQ streaming capabilities of BigQuery and be able to stream data in near real time into BigQuery from SAP. This is a first. It will be released in Q4, and that adapter will give you the ability to then tie into all of the data that you want and be able to abstract the data out from BigQuery and SAP data sources such as HANA or HANA Cloud or BW, and be able to get that data out and be able to, in real time, replicate the data over to BigQuery. We think this is a great scenario for being able to enable a ton of new applications and new solutions that weren't possible before. So the other thing that I get questions from a lot of customers is, when do I keep data in SAP and when do I move it to Google Cloud, to BigQuery? And why would I use, which scenarios would enable that? So the first one I like talking about is if you're dealing with huge data volumes. Say, for example, you've got an IoT situation where you're moving lots of telemetry data and you need to be able to have a petascale database like BigQuery to be able to capture that data, but then I want to be able to mash up that data with data that sits in SAP. Maybe it's sales data, maybe it's marketing data, and other things that are stored in SAP. If the data is greater than, say, 100 million rows, you probably are going to want to move the SAP data to BigQuery because you're going to need low latency capabilities to do analytics on it. And there's lots of use cases where that's going to be necessary. But sometimes that's also not the case where you need to move the data if you've got accuracy and compliance issues. So for example, GDPR and CDPR and personally identifiable information. If you keep that data inside the SAP ecosystem, it's very easy to manage that. So if a person comes to you and says, I want to disappear from your systems, as long as it's in SAP, we're really good at managing that. But as soon as that data leaves SAP, it's up to our customers to figure out how to deal with that, right? They have to manage those systems at that point, and a lot of customers don't want to do that. So therefore, we provide the ability to do federated access, to go back and pull the information when you need it by the application, and you don't have to move the data out of SAP. Another use case we come across quite a bit is what we call data write back. If customers are doing a lot of planning scenarios and they want to be able to plan and see what's going on, but then so you're disconnecting the data, you're pulling the data out, but as you're planning, you need to be able to get access to real-time information about what's going on. That's a scenario where you're going to want to use federation, and you're going to want to leave the data in SAP, and those use cases make sense to leave it that way. And then finally, there are going to be times where you have certain tools that you want to use, like, for example, Vertex AI, where you're going to want to be able to pull the data out and be able to have access to those advanced mining capabilities and not necessarily leave that in SAP. So there's lots of scenarios that you're going to come across where you're going to need access to SAP data in real time sitting in the ERP, and other times you're going to need the data and pull it out into BigQuery in order to do something interesting with it. And so we believe that the Better Together story with us and Google Cloud Platform is such a powerful story because it provides the ability to get real-time access to data when you need it, how you want to be able to get at it. All right. I'm now going to turn it over to Siva.
Thanks, Mike. I want to talk to you about some of the use cases and what customers are doing with this architecture and the new connector that we have. Let me start. Let me start with Richmond. Richmond manages many luxury brands across the world. They are using SAP and Google data, both Datasphere and BigQuery, to introduce new products to the market. This helps them to connect the inventory data and sales data coming in from SAP system with their marketing data and the marketing spend data coming in from the Google, and then be able to correlate and then get insights so that they can optimize their marketing spend accordingly, as well as they can improve their supply chain as well. Heartland, they are using SAP and Google to process claims, where they're bringing in data from SAP system and then connecting with Google Vertex AI to intelligently process claims as well. Ulta Beauty, they are using it for introducing new products and recommendations to customers. They have over 3,500 SKUs coming in, brands and SKUs that they have to manage over millions and millions of customers. So based on your click-through patterns that are available from the Google Analytics, correlating that with SAP data, they are able to better recommend products to their customers. Rodden & Fields, they are able to get the channel inventory from their channel partners and able to bring that into SAP via BigQuery, and they are able to intelligently allot and predict inventory so that they don't have excess inventory sitting at any given channel partner. So what can you do today? There are many areas where you would be able to bring the SAP and Google technologies together. Starting with planning, you would be able to bring in weather data and third-party non-SAP data from Google BigQuery directly into your planning solution via Datasphere, and then be able to simulate on what type of weather patterns would impact your sales and your supply chain as well. You would be able to use it in the marketing, like with the examples that I shared with you. You can extend it for your omni-channel, your logistics, as well as your LOB use case as well. You'd also be able to use SAP data directly in Vertex AI for machine learning and expose it to your applications and all your downstream activities. This is really powerful because enterprise data which sits in SAP and Datasphere is now possible. It's possible for you to access on Google side and Google data and the consumer data and the third-party data that sits on BigQuery. You are able to access it within Datasphere as well. Now, how do you get started? First, connectivity. You would be able to connect all your existing on-prem cloud systems onto the business data fabric powered by Datasphere. Once you connect the data, be it on-prem or cloud, then you would be able to seamlessly access this data set across your landscape. That's supported by the Business Data Fabric. So you'd be able to use it in SAC for analytics, planning. You'd be able to use it in BigQuery for the use cases that needs data set from SAP systems as well. Then we also have pre-packaged use cases which comes with its own model, its own predictive guidance and templates and workflows that helps you to jumpstart and implement use case on top of the Business Data Fabric. So all you need to do is just follow the guided procedure and you'll be able to implement these use cases as well. Once you have the foundation, the Business Data Fabric and the important use cases up and running, then you can start innovating. So you'll be able to do machine learning, you'll be able to bring in generative AI use cases and so on. So what are the packages that are available? I'll go a little deeper on the specific use cases and packages in the later slide, but the use cases have everything that you need to get up and running. So right from connectivity to your on-prem or your cloud solutions or your LOB solutions, and on the Google side with the Cortex framework for non-SAP data set, it has all the models and the dashboards and the workflows and the reference architectures and best practices all included in those use cases. One of the examples that we have is the sustainability use case where you'd be able to bring in SAP Sustainability Control Tower solution together with the third-party data set that tracks all your CO2 emissions and everything and be able to visualize that in SAP Analytics Cloud. Once you have everything in place, then you will be able to use it for the innovative, the same platform, same models, everything, you'd be able to use it for the innovative use cases, be it machine learning and generative AI use cases. You heard a lot of announcements this morning on the generative AI. You'd be able to reuse all of that data within your compliance and the governance paradigm together with your generative AI. So these are some of the use cases that are available today with everything that you need to get up and running. So this goes across the board. So this has planning use cases, supply chain planning, financial planning. It has category management, retail channel inventory, and channel management, and also few other inventory-related use cases like sell-through and sell-through uplift and the channel inventory from your third level of channels as well. So each of these use cases or some of these use cases are specific for certain industries, but some of these are that cut across the LOBs as well. And the planning also has planning template, the planning model, and brings in the BigQuery data along with it for influencing your planning. I want to just double click on two of these use cases today and then share some details. The supply chain planning use case that you have brings in Vertex AI and Google BigQuery data like weather patterns into your IBP data set to be able to intelligently simulate your planning. One of the biggest challenge is the simulation in planning, right? So you should be able to simulate what if the weather pattern changes, how would my forecast look based on my current scenario. So you would be able to do all of these on the fly with Datasphere, right? So the FedML connector that exists today would let you access your IBP and SAP data directly within Vertex AI without having to go through all of the transformations because the data is already clean. So you would be able to forecast each of the SKUs that you need to predict directly from within the IBP planning use case. So this is a really powerful one, and you don't have to use these use case assets. You'd be able to customize it as per your business need. So all of every layer of the use case is flexible, and you can customize it all the way from the data model onto the machine learning model. The second use case I wanted to talk about is the quality management use case. So Catena X is a consortium of the automobile manufacturers, part manufacturers, as well as many technology companies. So we, SAP, worked with Katina X to bring in all of these different data sets that might be sitting across many of these companies to identify the quality issues of the parts ahead of time. Through this solution, the automobile manufacturers and the parts manufacturers are able to identify the quality in the parts almost 10 weeks ahead of time. The intelligent part here is when you try to analyze the root cause of why a part is failing, you would have to simulate the environment in which the part is operating. For example, bringing in the weather pattern. Was it too hot for many number of days like it happened in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago? Or is it extremely cold situation where this part is failing? So you'd be able to bring in this weather patterns from Google onto the Datasphere, and you'd be able to simulate it and identify the root cause. So this is a very exciting use case that we have built together with the consortium members. Now, the demo that we have today, there is some connectivity issue, so it's not working. So I have this working live demo in our laptop, so we'd be able to walk you through as well. But I wanted to walk you through the entire solution architecture and what can you do today. If there is one point that I want you guys to take away, that is Datasphere is your gateway for accessing compliant SAP data no matter where. So it could be from the machine learning Vertex AI for machine learning from Vertex AI. It could be from GCS for replication with CDC compliance. Or it could be for federation where you need to bring in BigQuery data into the Datasphere. So data federation, replication with change data capture, as well as for machine learning, you would be able to access over 65,000 CDS views that is available as part of your SAP S/4 system, and many more that are available on the other systems as well. As well as you'll be able to access all the DSOs that are available on the BW for HANA system as well, and be able to manage with one layer across all of your systems. So you'll be able to track your lineage or data lineage on where is your data going downstream. If there is any change in your source system, you'd be able to track all the way to your BigQuery and BigQuery system, even if you just replicate the data set directly. You'd also be able to use your custom CDS views as well, available in SAP system, accessed via Datasphere. So Datasphere is one-stop shop for all of your SAP data needs, and then it has these special connectivities with BigQuery that helps you solve the business problem. So demo not working because of the connectivity issue. So we'll be available after the session, so we can directly show this demo right off of our laptop. So just let me know if that's interesting. Last but not least, the roadmap. So we have already released Datasphere and SAC Analytics Cloud in GCP today in North America. So we have many more regions coming in Q4. In just few weeks from now, it will be available in Europe as well as in APJ. We also have the connectors, both the replication flow connector to GCS as well as the Google BigQuery streaming connector available in few weeks from now in Q4. We also have many more regions planned so that you have the choice of picking the region where you want to run your Datasphere in 2024. So if any of this is interesting, and there is also a pilot program, by the way, for these connectors that are being built. So if you're interested in joining the early adopter program, let us know. We would be happy to work with our partners at Google and then be able to get you onboarded as well. So that's it for today. So we have the demo running. So do let us know if you're interested. We can just walk you through the demo as well.